নমস্কার, I am Tanmay বিশ্বাস, student ID 231807, chemistry discipline. My today's presentation topic is poverty in Bangladesh. Welcome to my presentation. Now I'll discuss the topic poverty in Bangladesh. At the beginning of my presentation, I'll discuss the definition of poverty. What is poverty? Poverty is defined as the state of being extremely poor, where one is not able to afford basic necessities such as food and shelter. Now, the classification of poverty. Poverty can be classified in 6 categories. Those are absolute poverty, relative poverty, situational poverty, generational poverty, rural poverty, and urban poverty. Now, absolute poverty. It is also known as extreme poverty. It triggers the scarcity of basic food, clean water, health, shelter, and education too. This leads to a lot of preventable diseases such as malaria and cholera. In 1990, dollar a day measured absolute poverty, but in October 2015, the World Bank set it $1.90. Now, relative poverty. It is a measure of income inequality. For example, a family is considered poor if it cannot afford vacations, buy presents for the children, be capable of sending their children to university. Now, situational poverty. It is a temporary type of poverty due to the occurrence of an unfortunate event such as a natural disaster, job loss, a severe health problem. Now, generational poverty. It normally runs in families and handed over for at least 2 generations. People are normally trapped in it with no access to the required tools to get out of it, such as education. Now, rural poverty. It happens in rural areas with populations below 50,000. This results in less job opportunities, less access to services such as health services, and poor quality education. Now, urban poverty. It happens in metropolitan areas with populations above 50,000. This results in limited access to health and education, insufficient housing and services, unhealthy and violent environments due to overcrowding. Now I will discuss the poverty rate in Bangladesh. Here you can see a graph. This graph shows people living under poverty line since 2000 to 2019. We can see that the poverty rate gradually decreases to 2000 to 2019. In 2000, the poverty rate was 48.9% and the extreme poverty rate was 34.3%. In 2005, it decreases to 40% and extreme poverty to 25.1%. In 2010, the poverty rate was 31.5% and extreme poverty rate was 17.6%. In 2016, the poverty rate was 24.3% and extreme poverty was 12.9%. In 2017, the poverty rate was 23.1% and extreme poverty rate was 12.1%. In 2018, the poverty rate was 21.8% and extreme poverty rate was 11.3%. In 2019, poverty rate was 20.5% and extreme poverty rate was 10.5%. Now we can see a world poverty clock. It's a world poverty clock that shows now in this world 59 crore 69 lakh 25,000 and 921 peoples are in poverty line. Today, 34,446 people escaped from poverty and 10,064 people fell into poverty. Now, The causes of poverty. The main causes of poverty are overpopulations, lack of education, low income, slow job growth, inequality, climate change, high birth rate. Now, overpopulations. We know Bangladesh is a small country, but it has huge populations. But overproductivity is not sufficient to our peoples, so we fall in poverty. Lack of education. Bangladesh is an agricultural country, though the literacy rate of our country is 74.23% now. But a lot of people remains uneducated too. They don't know the proper use of modern technology, so don't produce enough crops and remains in poverty line. Poor housing. Increased number of urban people and lack of institutional capacity is causing urban poverty. In Bangladesh, 30% of urban people is living in slums and quarters. Slow job growth. Its sluggish economy is harmful to most business. Consumers are more likely to purchase their products. It may also have a negative effect on the labor market, as businesses are less willing to hire more staff in times of weak economic growth. Now, inequality. Inequality perpetuates poverty when people's rights are ignored and violated. It rots them of the power to make their own decisions and improve their living conditions. Now, climate change. Climate change is expensive to adopt and recover from for families, communities, or countries with limited resources. Recovery can be very slow, with intense poverty, high birth rate. In Bangladesh, birth rate is greater than death rate. Birth child needs more food, shelters, and so on. So provide them this necessity, we fall in poverty. Now the effects of poverty. Poverty effects is too many to describe. Here you can see that the poverty people do not get food and health care, decreases productivity, poor housing, unable to access of educations, social discriminations, frustration and anxiety. Now the solutions of poverty. This poverty problem can be solved, and to solve this problem we need to create job field, set higher minimum wages, better education system, better healthcare, and need more housing. Now I will finish my presentation, and thanks to all.